Hi, I'm Miles, and this is a big shout out to say thank you to Mike Woods of Mike Woods Property Expert for training me in all the aspects of sourcing, assessing and then selling or letting a property for profit, so that I could get my first property, first time out, to a really good profit and have really good choices of what to do next with it. And I'm going to give you a glimpse of exactly what I did, implementing the learnings that I got from Mike, so you can get a good idea of just how incredibly authentic the process is and how realistic the results are. But before I do, I'm going to tell you something about why I nearly didn't do this. Okay? Now you may resonate with this if you've ever invested in something that didn't quite come off as you hoped. Well, I lost £20,000 investing in someone else who I thought I could trust, and it took me an awful long time to get to the point where I could trust someone else, and I wasn't the only one who fell foul of this. And you may have heard similar stories of some of the even online marketed businesses who profess to be property experts. What they are very good at is making money in training. Now, I therefore was very wary of it, and I had to take a lot of time to get to know Mike, to get to know his processes, and by doing so and talking to people who really had used his services, I then knew I could work with Mike. But I still went step by step. So I'm now going to show you exactly what we did to take that property to its completion of a profitable position, and something we're really, really proud of, and the knowledge to take that onto every single property ongoing. So here, take a look. I attended one of Mike's one-day property and business accelerator workshops that I found out on his website, propertyexpertpartnership.com. And it was a fantastic value day, learning all sorts of hints and tips and advice from Mike over the years of experience he's had in turning property into profit. And I learned about his property portfolio growth system, which is part of his mentoring program, in which there are 3 fantastic modules: the Smart Property Locator, the Rapid Assessment and the Refurb Checklist, where you learn right from the very beginning geographically where to source properties from, to then assess whether they're even worth viewing, and then identifying the areas of the refurb where you can, what the implications of costs are, and timelines with which to take you to that point of profit. And so we got started. Okay, so the next thing we had to do was look at the area we're going to be searching for properties and sourcing the ones that look like they have the greatest potential. And with Mike's system, I was able to draw a boundary around the geographical area where the greatest potential for a profit in property was, as well as being within easy viewing distance. And then within that boundary, the properties that were in the right price bracket before moving on to the assessment stage. And of course, part of the whole training program was the ongoing mentoring that goes on in between. And you'll see from this next picture where I've taken a spreadsheet that Mike gives out to all of his students, and what I did was I just modified it to make it a little bit more, calculate a little bit more of the things I wanted to know more instantly to help the process of assessing the profitability of a property, both in the buy-to-let and the buy-to-flip of modes of doing property investment first. So here's Mike giving me just a couple of tips during the process of sourcing property.
The first thing that will shove up the energy rating is to put a more efficient boiler in. Yeah. As soon as you put a more efficient boiler in, that will shoot you up 2 marks. 3 main things that can be done to improve an EPC. The first one, which is more the maximum bang for your buck, is a boiler. So put an energy efficient boiler in, that is huge on the EPC. The second is the amount of insulation in the loft. That's rock wool in the loft, the fibre. That, you put some more of that in, that increases because energy loss is vertical predominantly. And the third one is if you change the windows. If you change the windows from non-UPVC double glazing to UPVC double glazing, that will increase. But in this case, it already says they are.
Okay, with this one being an auction property, it threw a couple of very unknown parameters as far as my knowledge was concerned in sourcing and then buying a property. So I turn up at the auction, I find out what the layout of the room is, and I panic. And I think I'm going to have to speak to Mike. So I call Mike up, who answers the phone there and then in the moment, and gives me the most amazing tips, and just some of them were, where's the right place to sit? And I never even thought about where I was going to sit. I was more worried about the process. When to start listening in to what's happening during the bidding process, when the right time is to interject with your own bid, and then what to do when you've done that, what to watch for, amongst many other tips that Mike just reeled off in the phone call while I was taking notes, so that when I went into that auction, not only did we win the property, we won it at the price that we wanted, that secured the profit that we projected at the beginning when sourcing the property. So for that one piece of extra added value, Mike, thank you so much, because that made a difference between getting that property and not getting the property, which meant the difference between having the result we got at the end as well. That was absolutely fantastic. Okay, so we did the auction, we've got the property, now it was on to the next bit. So exciting, we've got the keys to the new property. This is 194 Emlyn Road, and we've just arrived. Now, we knew some of the things we were going to have to deal with, and as you can see, if you pan left and right, you'll see obviously the garden is going to take a lot of clearing up. It's been left for quite some time, several months, and so we're going to have to clear that, and we'll talk you through what the builders told us when we go in. So here we go. So my understanding from Mike was that with a property having been refurbished, you then have the choice whether you want to let it or sell it at the end of it. And of course you're thinking of that during the process, because it does determine what you do to the property along the way. Now, when I got to the end of mine and got the refurbishment done, it was time to bring the agent in with a view to letting the property. And this is where the big surprise came in. First of all, I had underestimated what we could let the property for because of the quality of the job done, the location selected, and the area generally for what was expected to be paid for that kind of thing for a rental. And also, I had underestimated the sale price because they gave me a free valuation of that as well. And this is not, by the way, an agent that would normally overprice a property just to impress the person selling it. So I looked at the figures they gave me, and I wasn't just under the threshold of what I thought we could get for the property. I was nearly between £5,000 and £8,000 underneath what that the estimate for that property sale would be. So suddenly I had a choice. Do I still want to let the property, or do I want to make between £15,000 and £20,000 worth of profit on the property when I thought I was going to make 10 to 12? Well, that was huge decision point for me, and here's some of the figures that show you which way I went. During the rapid assessment part of the programme, this is where I had established that we should be able to get around about a monthly rental income of £475 a month. When the agent came to view the property, he suggested that we were going to be £500 a month plus. Now what actually happened was that we had more than one person bidding for the rent, so we ended up getting £525 a month, way over what I thought was possible. And at the same time, the agent valued the property for us should we want to sell it, and where I had projected the post-refurb sale price at around about 87,500, the agent said, oh no, you're looking at around about 95 to 102,000 pounds, which I had realised then I'd underestimated completely what was possible. But what he did say was that because of the good work that was done on the property and the extent to which we expanded on the garden and made the property really presentable, it added to that value of the property. So we just made ourselves a really fantastic profit, from one which I thought was between £12,000 and £14,000 through to an amazing £18,000 to £22,000 profit, and this is on a £57,000 property. So looking at our rental portfolio builder, we realised that with a monthly rental income of £525 a month, with the lower evaluation of £95,000, that the cash back on a 75% buy-to-let mortgage would get around about £71,000 back, which meant we're going to be leaving some money in the property of about £1,800. So it would take the rental of £525 minus the management fee around about 5 months to get to the point of where we are then in profit. And what that means is that the property is then just a cash machine. Based on a higher evaluation of £102,000, the cash back on a 75% buy-to-let mortgage would be £76,500, which means that we wouldn't have any money left in the property. In fact, we'd be walking away with a cash outlay of £3,400, which means it wouldn't take any time for the property to be starting to make profit, and it means that all the investment would be returned to be able to repeat this process and start building a really, really good cash machine property portfolio. So thank you, Mike, once again for your expert training, which really was and truly expert. It was so accurate as to what to look out for, what not to look out for, what to watch out for, who to watch out for, such that I could take your training and turn it into a profit first time out. And I can now take those learnings and take them on to property after property to build my portfolio, whether I'm going to be buying to let or I'm looking for that quick return in money and do the property buying to flip, which is all part of the comprehensive and inclusive training that you give. Your mentoring and support ongoing and availability to help was amazing and beyond any I've known. Your expertise in the industry was beyond any I've known. And also, having already lost that £20,000 of investing into property with somebody else in a different program, it took me that 5 years to accumulate that money to get back into a position to do it, and it took me that long again to trust someone with everything that I had. So thank you for being that person. I'm so glad that I found you. And I'm not only talking to you about having achieved that result, I'm talking to you from southern Spain, where I'm now able to continue the process of finding properties online, so I don't have to be there all the time. That's another added incredible mobility that gives me, and opportunities that gives me to be able to expand and travel and follow my own journey as I go along. For me, it wasn't about making tons of money. For me, it was about that I could get out of my stressful 9-to-5 type working life and do something that I really appreciated and gave me the time to start enjoying life. So if you're like that and you're looking to invest in property with everything that you have, it really does count to have somebody you can trust and who knows what they're talking about and how to deliver that information in such a way that you can implement it straight away. I can pretty much assure you that Mike Woods is the only one I know that can do that for you. He's the man to trust. So thank you ever so much once again, Mike, and I'm looking forward to the ongoing process of getting more properties out there with your help. Bye for now.